Hey, how's it going? This is the Untitled KKP show, episode 7, 6. I totally forgot, lost track how many of these we've done, actually. And we're still untitled because we have yet to figure out how to call our show. So,
Yeah.
my name is Jonathan, Mr. Toffee Toyat, and joining me, of course, is my awesome esports hardware video guy, Lewis.com. Also, main game co-host who you can
Yeah.
see him on the first 2 seasons of Main Game on RTM. Yep,
Yep.
TV show. So, how'd you been doing? Tell me what you've been up to for the past few days, the week or so.
Yeah. Well, I can finally talk about a game that I reviewed over the past couple of weeks. I was playing that alongside South of Midnight, and that is Kaizen Gameworks' latest title, Promise Mascot Agency, which is technically a management sim, but it's also an open world driving sim at the same time. It's definitely a weird game. I definitely say that there's a Loose or Leave It episode out now that you can check out. And I go a lot more in depth on it, but it's overall a really good game that is weirdly addicting. Like it isn't for management veterans. It's definitely not a game that is it has much depth to it. It's very repetitive and it's kind of easy in a sense, but because of just how forgiving the mechanics are and everything. But for someone like me who doesn't really have much experience with management sims in general, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. The wackiness of it all, the ridiculousness of all the characters, and the interactions with the incidents and whatnot. Like your mascots, kind of fight inanimate objects like doorways or like a stove or a cashier, and it's just like it's such a weird game. And I think just the ridiculousness of it all is just kind of is the part of the charm. It's the jankiness is the charm of it.
And funny you mentioned Promise Mascot Agency, the game you've reviewed and played, because I heard that a very, very popular figure in the PlayStation company back in the day is actually voicing one of the characters in Promise Mascot Agency. Shuhei Yoshida, the ex-PlayStation lead for indies and basically game development and SIE stuff. Basically, anything that involves game development, he is the forefront runner for that company for the past 30 plus years. And wouldn't you know it, I actually did an interview with him, like literally as soon as after just before this recording started. I actually interviewed Shuhei Yoshida for KKP and everything, so do check that out. Hopefully it should be out by maybe a couple of hours by the time this episode is out, which is probably going to be the next day or so, because we like to actually keep our shows like just nice for the midnight launch or whatnot. That's just how I roll, per se. So look forward to that. Very, very awesome interview. I really was just paying attention to everything he's been saying, and the only reason I just looked away is just to double check that my recording program was not gonna gonna screw me over, right?
Yeah.
You never know about technology, right?
Yeah.
And I wish I could actually contribute more to the game playing side like you did, because I have a couple of games I've been playing which I unfortunately cannot share until, I guess, in the future episode. I'm looking forward to talking about these couple of games that I've been playing, but I can talk about a game I just bought today, like about midnight or so. It's a game called Crashlands 2. So it is a open world survival game. You play a purple being named Flux who wanted to go on vacation after working in a corporate job and being a hero of sorts in the last game, Crashlands 1. So he wants to go back to the planet that he saved, and then wouldn't you know it, he crashed into another part of the planet, and he has to start foraging for equipment, foraging for stuff here and there to build camps and build bases and whatnot, and get to the bottom of why the planet he's on is very effed up, to say the least.
Okay.
But it's not a serious game. If you played something like Don't Starve, that's the perspective. The cartoony graphics, the very colorful aesthetic, space, and then they got the day and night cycle going on. You've got like aliens you gotta fight. You can create your own mining tools, your foraging tools, i.e. your weapons and whatnot, or even like actual weaponry and spears, or hopefully a laser gun or whatnot. And you can also build and decorate your house or other people's houses or any house you want to make. It's a survival game. I mean, whatever effort you put in terms of like foraging and collecting and crafting is really up to you. So if you want to build 10 houses within the span of like next to each other, you can.
Okay.
It gives you that freedom. It's a very chillax game as well, because as I'm basically playing through the game about an hour or so, it gets very, very relaxing as you get into that zen of a crafting and a survival game. Like, I know I'm not the biggest fan of survival games because I've seen The Forest, Son of the Forest, not really my cup of tea. I saw V Rising, I got out of it really quick because as much as I like action like Diablo game, I just don't like how meticulous and detailed the crafting system is. Crashlands 2, on the other hand, it's just done in a very simple, fast, efficient way. It controls great. When you target enemies, it's just a matter of like moving your mouse so that it's facing the target and just clicking or holding the mouse button to keep your attacks going on, because they have a wind up and they've got a recovery period, right? Same goes for mining, and same goes for like cutting down trees or cutting down like, I guess, the vegetables or the fauna, the flora. Yeah. So you can get wood or get the materials and you need to build your house or walls and whatnot. So far, I'm at the very early stages of the game, but I see myself putting in maybe about 20-30 hours in between the work that I've been doing, because it's just simple. It's just very intuitive. Like, I mean, the pitch that I have right now is Crashlands 1, but better. It's the simplest way to describe the game, but they made so many improvements to the controls, the UI, the way you track quests, and the way you attack, and the way you move around and whatnot. I'm gonna assume that there are gonna be other power-ups that make you traverse through the giant world much faster, or getting around, or maybe speeding around back and forth. So and also making your foraging much quicker, because you can actually make a grenade that makes you destroy trees faster, so you can get the materials and whatnot. And of course you get better weapons as you go on. So I look forward to talking about it more when I finish it in maybe about a couple of weeks, who knows, but I would recommend this title definitely. It's by Butterscotch Shenanigans, right? Yes, Butterscotch Shenanigans. And the thing is, the prequel came out 10 years ago. That was when I was actually at a video game company. I played that game in my spare time on my tablet. It was really fun. Wow, so that game took away hours of my life while I was after work and everything. When I'm on the MRT in Singapore, I took out my tablet and just played like a couple of minutes until I get to my stop. When I take the bus, purposely, it takes about an hour to get to my home. So I would take out my tablet to play Crashlands 1. So obviously I bought it on the PC. And since I'm mostly at home working, I'll probably play that more at home. Yeah. And also that's also one. Also in those games I talked about, the embargoed stuff, that's also the major reason why I uninstalled Path of Exile 2. I was actually gonna touch the Huntress, and then this assignment started coming in. It's like, these files are so big, I don't think I can. I'm gonna have to say bye-bye to a couple of games. So see ya, Path of Exile 2. See ya in the next 2 months or so. It's one of the untold, like, unspoken truths about like being in this industry, like when you review games for a living, is the amount of times you have to uninstall and reinstall your favorite games just to make sure you have enough space on your hard drive or your SSD. Because some of these games are massive, man. And don't get me started on preview builds on certain games here and there. Like I basically covered a Honkai Star Rail preview build of the upcoming update. I basically have the original Honkai Star Rail in my hard drive. I mean, my SSD. And I had to install yet another version of the game, which is basically another 30 gigs. So I'm like, it's just taking out lots and lots of space. So to the point where I have to delete my older F2P games away out of that SSD. So I think I may have deleted Tekken 8. Who knows? I'm not so sure yet. I'm not so sure, but again, with the way the broken state Tekken 8 is right now, it's it's inevitable. I've been seeing. I'm not too familiar with what's been happening, but I've been seeing a lot of video essays coming out on just like the current state of Tekken. It is okay. Just to sum it up, everyone got too many buffs. The developers kind of broke their promise of making the game more defensive.
Right.
And
Okay.
everybody got buffed to the point where you can just mash buttons. I mean,
Right.
technically you could, but the better
Yeah.
players will know when to mash buttons to put you in an inescapable loop, per se.
Okay.
Most particularly Jack 8 and Paul Phoenix.
Right. Okay.
I think mostly Jack 8, but generally some of the characters who
Okay.
hit hard can
Yep.
hit harder because some of their moves weren't intended to act as such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. But generally, they should be fixing this, hopefully, because there's going to be a tournament for this game anyway, so they need
Yeah.
to get their shit together, so to speak.
Yeah.
I guess we could talk about news. We'll talk about a fighting game that made a bit of rounds, like literally yesterday at the time of recording, which is I guess the 11th of April, right? Yeah, 11th of April, which is a Friday. So yesterday, early in the morning, 5 a.m., the group called Evolution Championship Series, or Evolution, who are known for making the EVO tournaments for the past few years, or long-running years, they had a special showcase for the upcoming fighting game, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. They revealed a new character, Hokuto Maru, a ninja from Garo Mark of the Wolves, who's now grown up. He's a bit more of a teen character now, not a Naruto annoying kid, a shonen kid. He's slightly less annoying, he's actually better this time around. He's,
Okay.
like from Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
a less annoying Naruto,
Yeah.
Still a happy-go-lucky kid, but he's still, a bit more serious about life, which is great. They showcased him, and then they also showcased a lot of combat from the guest characters, Salvador Gnocchi and the DJ, and also CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo, who basically some tournament players like Diaphone from Guilty Gear fame and Mena Ardi of Street Fighter fame, and also E.T., this Hong Kong player who plays KOF really, really well. The three of them and a couple of others did play a lot of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves in what I assume is the final build of the game. They are basically going at it in a series of like round robin tournaments, and just to showcase how how fun these characters are. So I'm gonna be under the assumption that some of them are paid to play Cristiano, CR7, like Ronaldo, and Salvador. And I have to admit, they do look very, very awkward compared to the base roster Fatal Fury characters. They don't look well animation-wise. They look off, very alien-like. Like I said, SNK were like, yes, we put your characters in this game. Doesn't mean we have to give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, when I saw the gameplay for Ronaldo and Salvador, there's a bit of uniqueness to how they play. Like, for example, Ronaldo, he can summon a spirit soccer ball that he can kick onto his opponents, but that ball will stick around in the screen for a few seconds. During that time, you can press any attack to basically have the ball launch in front, or like you do that chest thing, when you hop up, you basically dribble the ball in chest. He can do that, and that's actually a very viable tactic because it stops your opponent from jumping over you, because they get hit by the ball and you can follow up a combo, So there's a lot of shenanigans and okizeme and tricks here and there you can use for Ronaldo. Like tricks, mix up, back and forth things you can do. For Salvador, it's a bit more unorthodox. He can slide, he can do a bunch of like double hit attacks, and he's got this move where he jumps. When he does a heavy kick, he floats a little bit upward and goes downward. So he will land in a different spot, so you kind of need to predict where he lands. But at the same time, it's a multi-hitting move. It pushes him forward, so if you time it right, you can actually knock your opponent off their feet, or you can just land behind your opponent and just throw them from behind. So there are some tricks to these characters. Although the fact that even though they look very, very awkward, when you compare them to how well animated the rest of the cast is, from Gato to I guess Kevin Ryan and all the other new characters. I guess they also showcase a lot of Hokuto Maru gameplay. So basically imagine because Hokuto Maru is being taught by Fatal Fury characters Andy Bogart and Mai Shiranui. I'm not sure how familiar are you with those two characters. They're both ninjas with various fighting styles. So Hokuto Maru just combines both of them together in a sense.
Okay.
So the kid has like Andy's shoulder tackle, charge, horizontal attack, and he's got this vaulting kick. You can combo it back and forth. And he's got his own ninja stars. And he can also do a teleport where he basically just jumps. He teleports just above your opponent's head.
Okay.
Trickster moves basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it from my side. The gameplay is all great. I guess one more tidbit. When they interviewed the producers of the game, they mentioned that Fatal Fury Seal of the Wolves will be supported with DLC content for the next 3 years post-launch.
Okay.
Which means they also promised that they're gonna bring back every single Fatal Fury character in this Fatal Fury game. And yeah, which means from Fatal Fury 1 all the way to, I guess, Garo, they're gonna bring back characters. I'm gonna guess they're gonna bring back old school characters like maybe Katsu. Okay, crap. His name escapes me. He's a guy who has a fisherman's hat and he has a magic staff. He's like a exorcist.
Okay.
From the series. You've got maybe characters like Alfred or Xiang Fei, or Xiang Fei is this waitress who basically has a big forehead and she's got a dragon punch and has an energy attack. I guess her shtick is whenever she's in a KOF game, she ends up bringing her colleagues to her restaurant and she has to foot the bill because everyone eats too damn much. It's a joke ending per se, and she is a waitress who fights really well.
Okay.
And you also got like some characters of KOF and Fatal Fury coming into Fatal Fury, hopefully, like Yamazaki, the guy with the snake hand. They might bring in Nightmare Geese for all you know. I mean, there's so many characters they can bring in per se.
Yeah.
It is such an illustrious. There's an illustrious roster. I mean, they don't need to stop at Fatal Fury. Maybe Art of Fighting characters. Because if you see the Season 1 DLC, Mr. Big is one of the characters. He's actually an Art of Fighting character. So you might actually see his I guess his rivals, like maybe Ryo Sakazaki, Yuri Sakazaki, and all the other Art of Fighting characters coming in. Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all the news I have on my side. So Fatal Fury may have a big future ahead at the cost of, bringing in Ronaldo and basically Saudi Arabia Prince's friends. But hey, take what you can get, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that is that feature, like the fact that Ronaldo is in Fatal Fury now is it's bizarre. And then the interview as well in the promo.
Oh god, that interview was terrible. That interview was terrible. I think that's why they had to use a different voice actor for the Ronaldo in the game. That is why.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's pretty much my news on my side. Oh,
yep.
One more before we head to you. Sorry about that.
Yep, no worries.
So they just announced today that Street Fighter 6, the last character in the Season 2 DLC character pass, is Elena. Elena is gonna be out on June 5th, which is the same date the Switch 2 version of Street Fighter 6 is coming out.
Okay.
Because they want to bundle Street Fighter 6, the Switch 2 version, with all the characters from Season 1 and Season 2. Yeah, so what better way to do that than to put in Elena? So
yeah.
If you don't know Elena, don't worry. I will... Okay, how much do you know about Street Fighter 3 Elena and her historical impact in esports?
Little to nothing, pretty much, yeah.
Give me a sec. So, Elena is a character in Street Fighter 3 next new generation. She's got long legs, she fights with Capoeira style from Africa, Kenya, Africa and whatnot. Really cool character, especially when they showcase the technology back in the day, where, the sprite work for Street Fighter, like, okay, let's take Sagat, who has an eye patch on his right eye, right?
Yeah.
If he switches sides, the eye patch is on his left eye.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be that, but because of limitations, you couldn't do that. So Street Fighter 3 introduced the technology that makes you replicate sprites to be different when they're on the other side, per se. So Elena has all these bangles, right? One I guess is red color on the right hand and yellow color on the left hand.
Yeah.
So when she switches side, it will be the same position as she was on the right side of the screen. On the left side of the screen. So they replicate it so well so that it's accurate. So that's basically the power of Street Fighter 3 and Elena's significance because of the stylings and whatnot to showcase that really then groundbreaking technology in arcade and animation history. So fast forward to Street Fighter 4, she's a new character in Street Fighter 4. Now, this is like the final version of Street Fighter, right? It's called
Mhm.
Ultra Street Fighter. She is the top character in the game because she can heal herself for one.
Mm-hmm.
So in a game where everybody's lives go down and you need to actually activate your ultra move using if your life is low. Elena has the capability to do that twice because she can heal herself and then go back to the point where she can do an ultra again.
Right.
Yeah, so it's and then she's got a bunch of pokes as well and a lot of combos that basically are really hard to block, let's just say that, because of her many overheads and whatnot. So a lot of top players like Xian, Gamer B, who used to have their own characters like Gen, and Adon, they switched to Elena in Ultra Street Fighter 4 because of how top tier she is. So
Makes
now,
sense.
which begs the question, how are they going to handle her in Street Fighter 6? So that's what I like to find out. So they might bring her healing back because that was her key feature in the game, in Part 3 and Part 4. So that needs to come back, but it has to probably be balanced, right? Or so.
Yeah.
She can. I guess her shtick is also her kicks, because she fights with her feet. I don't think she has ever punched in any of the games at all.
Okay.
Because of her capoeira style and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they need to find a way to make her fun, because she is a character that people have to pay for.
Yeah,
but not completely broken, like in Street Fighter 4 especially.
Yeah.
So that is the challenge that I guess Capcom has to handle. I think they might do a great job of Elena. I like her outfit and everything, and the trailer and everything. It's like a nice little teaser. So we'll definitely see some gameplay around May, and we'll probably get to check her out on June the 5th when the DLC is out.
Okay.
So looking forward to that. I guess we can go to you. So tell me what's on the news side on your end.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I think we're going to touch on a topic that we touched on last episode, which is the Minecraft movie, or a Minecraft movie. Essentially, a sequel has been green-lit following the box office success of its opening weekend, where it accumulated a ludicrous amount of $301 million worldwide. And that's just in its opening weekend alone. So that's not including, like, pretty much to date now.
So that's like 3 days, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
That's crazy. So that you're looking at 100 mil a day for that opening weekend. That's crazy. But yeah, so this news comes from director Jared Hess, who's pretty much just kind of come out and said that there's already been talks, and that him and his team have already kind of mapped out where the story's going next. So we can expect what do you call it? I think it's safe to assume Jack Black's gonna return to the role of Steve.
That's a definite yes. It
has to be, right? What we didn't talk about, I think, as well, was the post-credit scene as well. We didn't talk about that, but essentially, in the post-credit scene, you see Jack Black coming back to, or Steve, coming back to his own house, and somebody had moved in, since he pretty much had moved into the Minecraft world, the overworld. And the resident of that house was Alex. Or someone a ginger woman who claims to be someone called Alex, who, if you know anything about Minecraft, you'll know that Alex is the female counterpart to Steve, essentially. So there's no word on casting of that yet. I think it's a bit too soon for that.
Way too soon.
But essentially, Hess goes on to say that he's extremely excited about the possibility of a sequel, that they've barely scratched the surface of what they wanted to do, and that there's so much more to play with. So, translation for that is essentially just expect more mobs. Hopefully, I'm hoping we're going to see an Ender Dragon, because that is, essentially the plot of the game, which is, to get to the end and to defeat the Ender Dragon and whatnot. Obviously, I think an appearance from the Wither as well would be really, really nice. Essentially, what that is, if you're not familiar, is when you collect a bunch of Wither skeleton heads and you put it onto Nether blocks, if I'm not mistaken, it creates a it creates a three-headed floating skeleton that shoots fireballs at you, and it's just extremely hard. It's one of the bosses essentially. It was one of the original bosses for the longest time, along with the Ender Dragon as well. So that would be a really nice appearance. But yeah, overall that's pretty much it. It's in the works. It's in talks. Sorry. And we can probably expect it within. I'd probably say 2026 is probably when they would probably, if they can, given how successful it is, 2026 they probably will start production on it towards the end of it. But how long it'll take, I'm not too sure. I think they do want to smash this out as soon as possible. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
How about we talk about that one thing that has been happening that's been circling on Twitter and social media?
Oh yeah, I mean, so everyone's been. I've been getting a lot of questions as well. Like what's the thing about the chicken jockeys? And to put it to put it simply, chicken jockeys. If you've played a survival or hardcore playthrough of Minecraft, chicken jockeys are very, very hard to come by. They're essentially just baby zombies that ride chickens, but they deal so much damage, and they are the bane of everybody's playthrough. They're not as hard. They're not as hard as like the Wither Skeleton or the Ender Dragon, but they are their own little mini boss because they're so rare to come by as well. But on the off chance you do, you better pray that it's that you survive, because they deal a lot of damage, and they're just fun. They're cute, but they're just also a menace to society.
Is that why all fans of Minecraft start losing their shit to the point they have to vandalize the cinema?
Yes, yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's just, they're so rare. It's just, hooliganism at its Minecraft hooliganism at its peak.
I think one of them even brought a live chicken to the cinema.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like, I'm trying to think of a nice, similar kind of situation. Like, imagine if I was a Dragon Ball fan and I just saw like, I guess, a live action recreation of Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time after seeing Villain Eyes. I think that could be that moment where everyone just lost their shit and threw their popcorn all up in the sky.
What I'm thinking is like Avengers Endgame. When like Captain America lifts Mjolnir, or like when all the portals open and all the Avengers come out.
When Captain America says Avengers Assemble.
That part. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that is 2025's version of that.
That reaction, but for a baby zombie on a chicken.
Yes.
It's
crazy. I mean,
it's wild.
Hey, I'll confess. Back in the day, I was fucking cheering for when the portals are opening up. When the Falcon said to your left, and when
100%. Yeah, I was as well.
When Captain America said the line Avengers Assemble, that was good shit that I would just cheer. I think everyone in the cinema I was in also cheered. They were on the same boat as I was. So.
Yeah, it's so funny we bring it so much.
I guess to the point that maybe if I was in a more liberal country, I would have thrown my popcorn in the air. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And if I was maybe like 10 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I literally, I think it was about a couple days ago now, I actually rewatched both Infinity War and Endgame, and when those scenes happened, I literally just stood out on my chair and was just clapping by myself in my office, it still gets me every time. But yeah.
It's good shit. I think there's any other news you want to touch on that you feel for yourself like you have a extra grind, whatnot, before we wrap it up?
I mean, I guess I can talk about Schedule 1. So, to touch on another topic that it's not in here. So I don't mind bringing it up myself.
Yeah, please do. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, another game that I have been playing, and I've recently wrote an article about because of just the fiasco that has been following it, is Schedule 1 has been blowing up everywhere on Twitter and on Twitch among streamers. I think right now my favorite content creator to watch on this game is Moist Critical Charlie. His playthrough has been a complete blast to watch.
So what's this game about? Maybe back up a bit. Schedule 1. What's that game about?
Yeah. So basically it's a drug dealing simulator in a sense. Right. It is quite a touchy subject in some countries, but they do put a disclaimer right at the beginning. It's not a condonement of this. It's literally just purely a simulation. But it's fun. I've been playing it quite a bit in my free time, and it's very typical of those, you know, low like small team, low effort indie type of games in terms of its artwork, and it's kind of just how genuine the game feels, you know. And I think this is, you know, we can expect a lot more games like this to arise over the next coming years.
Holy shit, 99,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
It's been great. And I believe it consists of a team of only three main members. So it's by Tyler's Video Game Studio. And I believe it only consists of a main programmer, a composer, and an artist, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong about that third one. But yeah, it's crazy. So essentially, the controversy that's been surrounding this recently is the game's been blowing up, and obviously when a game blows up, sometimes a controversy can follow. In the case of this, another game has kind of started investigating it for copyright infringement. Now that game in question is literally, I believe it's called Drug Dealer Simulator, or Drug Dealing Simulator, if I'm not mistaken. Drug Dealer Simulator, basically, and it's it's not by the developers, it's by the publishers of that said game, which is Movies, I believe it's Movies Productions or Movies Simulations. Let me just double check.
I'm looking at the reviews right now while you're checking it. If Breaking Bad and Stardew Valley had a morally questionable baby, Schedule 1 would be the delightful little felony it raised.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's an endorsement right there.
Yeah, that's a very accurate representation of it. But yeah, okay. So it's by Movie Games is the publishers of Drug Dealer Simulator, and the weird thing about this is they've commissioned a legal analysis via the Polish press agency, because they just want to kind of just investigate, see if they have copied anything, because they are two very different games. And there's no evidence of copyright either. And Movie Games have come out and said that there's no ill will. We're not doing this because we're assuming that they stole our idea, or they've stolen assets from our games. We're just doing it because it's common courtesy for our practice. So that's one thing that they've come out and said. They've also come out and said that there's no lawsuit. There is no lawsuit as of yet. They will be, if they do find anything, that will proceed to a lawsuit. And also that they're all for this game. Like, apparently they said that before Schedule 1 release, they actually personally, as a collective, they approached Tyler Video Game Studios and said, hey, good luck with your release and everything, and we hope it does well. So it's just a bit weird. The entire narrative surrounding this story is just a bit like, what, if you don't think there's any basis for the copyright infringement, then why are you investigating?
Yeah, in the first place, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, it's a bit tongue-in-cheek to me. A lot of people are very much in support of TVGS and Schedule 1.
I'm looking at a Reddit poster. They said they left a lot of negative reviews for Drug Dealer Simulator.
Yeah, essentially, I think it sounds more like they're being a bit petty. They're like, okay, our game's the exact same. Why the fuck is Schedule 1 receiving so much praise when we're essentially the exact same game and we came out first? So it sounds a little bit, it could be a little bit of pettiness, could be involved.
Sour grapes kind of situation, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. It's a great game, honestly. If you have the chance to play it, it's currently 50 ringgit, I believe, on Steam.
Yeah, 49. I would have bought it. I mean, if I knew about this much earlier, I would have bought it.
Yeah,
I end up getting Crashlands too, so I gotta play that first. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm currently playing it. It's a bunch of fun. It's a great, sit back, relax kind of game. You don't have to turn on your brain too much, and it's very much just a, just if you want to just chill out after a hard day's work, just slap this game on and just chill out and play. It's great. Yeah, the mechanics, you essentially, just the concept of it is basically you're a drug dealer. You kind of get caught in your operation, so you have to move to a new town where you have to kind of start from scratch, where the only way you know how to make money and make your way around is via drug dealing. So you essentially you start dealing cannabis and whatnot, and it's you kind of just build an empire from there, and you kind of learn what it's like to. It's a very fictionalized simulation of what it would be like if you were to, say, build a drug empire from scratch, essentially.
Making your own Breaking Bad. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Basically, yeah.
Definitely the kind of game we need right now.
Yeah.